to exactly what God wanted it to be in my life. And so even though if God gave me a choice to have cancer or not have cancer, I would say no, I don't think so, thank you very much. However, what I have learned, I could never have learned, I don't think, had I not gone through this experience. Now I want to say one more thing about that. 14 years ago, our 18-year-old son died. And I was not in the process to be clergy or anything like that, but our son died. And I can remember thinking, I will never be able to teach again. Because I believed, Lord, that if I did everything right and brought this child up exactly like you wanted me to, that everything would turn out perfect. You see, I forgot about that free will thing that you've given to each one of us. And I never thought I could ever teach again. But once the Lord held me as I grieved that, He assured me that my son Joseph was with Jesus because he was a believer. Once I knew that all of that was taken care of, He taught me this one thing. He said, I want you to get out of the whys, and I want you to get into the hows. I said, Lord, what? He said, instead of asking me why, ask me, how can I glorify you, Lord, in the midst of this? And that changed my life. That changed my life. Well, you see, that part of that landscape is what set me up for what was going to come my way. So that I had those tools in my belt, so to speak. So, it's not that I enjoy the suffering, don't get me wrong. But I know this, that what God has allowed to happen in my life is absolutely for my good, and it's for His glory, and that's what it's all about.
Amen. Can you guys think of anything that we need to go?
We're crying right now.
That's what, thank you. That's why I didn't want to look at y'all, because y'all crying, we all be crying.
That was beautiful.
Are we good?
I don't want to go over our time. Let's see if there's like one more question maybe that I might. As a rector, I'm going to go back to this original thing.
Okay.
As a rector, where would I start if I was your typical male rector guy, right?
Yeah.
Where would I start if I wanted to really, really bless the women's ministry in my church? If I felt like either it was non-existent or maybe, well, it's not going to be non-existent, there's definitely women in ministry, but how would I help the women? How can I bless the women in order to have a stronger women's ministry in my church?
I think one of the things that is so important for us as clergy, and I'm talking to you clergy, like I'm talking to me, is that we talk about men and women in the same conversation. Now, I know that sounds like a big feminist statement and all that, but let me tell you, I'm a Southern lady, and I like to be treated like a queen, so I'm not into all that. But I think we need to talk about women, men and women, being involved in the church, in the life of the church, in the ministry of the church, as if that they're equal. Now, I do know that men and women have different roles, so, we don't have to get into that. But I do think that one of the things that we need to do is that we need to have special events where the rector of the church says, I want to have a special gathering of all the women in this church because I want to talk to you and pick your brain and ask you, what things do you see in our family here, in our household here, that you think maybe needs a little bit of improvement? What ministries could we add to our family here that would enhance us and help us to grow? One of the things about women that God has given us is we're sort of like radars. In other words, we can see when something's happening, when something's going down that shouldn't go down, but sometimes we don't have a voice. We don't know who to go to. But if we know that our rector is right there to listen to us because he or she wants to know what we feel and what we think and how we can improve our family, then I think that is the key right there. So that's something that we need to work on. We need to work on that as clergy. And women need to work on that by trusting to go to their rectors, to go to them and talk to them. And I think that is a key point.
I've got one more thing that I want to ask you real quick. I don't know if you remember on our Cursillo, there was a lady named Khaki.
Yeah.
You remember Khaki?
Yeah, I do.
She's her husband and I are partners in our business. And
Oh, okay.
She's my wife's closest friend.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, I think it would be really cool. I would love to surprise her if you could just say hello to her real quick. And I'm going to shoot this video over to you. Is that all right with you?
To Khaki?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Hey, Khaki, it's Martha. I just want to say hey, and I would just say that your husband is amazing, and I hope when he comes home you just love up on him and kiss him and tell him you are an awesome man. God bless.
That's really about all I got. Yes,
No, I think you hit the two main things that I was thinking about.
Oh, okay.
Just the last little piece you did about
Yeah.
clergy, and then the thing you said about the men and the women in the church coming together and
Yeah.
the strength and all. Those are the two
Yeah.
things. Like, we all understand. It's not like women want to invade and take over and this
Right,
and that.
but see, I have to make sure I make those little comments,
Totally,
you know, to make sure that I'm not trying to, you know, have takeover of the Amazon queens of the South or something.
Yeah, I think
You think I did that? Okay.
I think
Because,
you were like, you did, you kind of went a little and then you totally dispersed.
okay, good. Okay, because I mean, I like to be a queen. I'm just telling you.
yeah,
I mean,
nailed it.
I like to be